You think God is delaying you, and that thought slowly becomes heavier. Each time another month passes and nothing changes in your situation. You wake up with faith, but by night your heart feels tired from hoping again. You pray sincerely, not for something selfish, but for something meaningful and lasting. You ask for love that honors God. You ask for a future that feels secure and peaceful. You are not demanding luxury or fame. You are asking for companionship, stability, and shared purpose. Yet the silence continues. And sometimes the silence feels louder than rejection. You scroll through your phone and see others celebrating engagements and weddings. You smile and congratulate them. But deep inside, a quiet question forms in your heart. When will it be my turn? Did I miss something? Did I misunderstand God's plan? You try to stay strong in front of others. You tell yourself that timing is different for everyone. But alone at night, the waiting feels long. You wonder if heaven heard you clearly. You wonder if your prayer is still being processed. You remind yourself that God is faithful, but your emotions still wrestle with doubt. And in that tension between faith and feeling, you stand, still believing, even when you do not fully understand. Waiting is harder than rejection because rejection gives closure. But waiting keeps you in uncertainty without a clear ending. You can handle a no, but a not yet stretches your patience in ways you never expected. Every year you thought things would be different. You imagined a different season by now. You pictured yourself sharing life with someone who understands your heart. Instead, you are still building alone. You are still dreaming alone. You are still praying alone. And sometimes that loneliness feels louder than your faith. You try to focus on your goals. You work on yourself. You improve your habits. You strengthen your walk with God. But the desire for companionship does not disappear just because you are growing. You begin to question whether growth is preparation or distraction. You wonder if God is shaping you for something greater, or if you are simply learning to live without what you once expected. You do not want to lose hope, but you are tired of explaining to others why you are still waiting. People give advice easily. They say, just trust the process. They say, your time will come. But they do not carry your silent questions. They do not feel your quiet disappointments. And still, even in this confusion, you continue choosing faith, even when faith feels fragile. Sometimes you look back at past relationships and wonder if you let the right one go. You replay conversations in your mind. You remember moments that once felt promising. You think about the person who almost stayed, the one who came close but not close enough. You question your decisions. You ask yourself if you were too cautious, or maybe not cautious enough. You wonder if fear made you walk away too quickly, or if attachment made you stay too long. It is easy to romanticize the past when the present feels uncertain. You forget the red flags and remember only the comfort. You forget the confusion and remember only the connection. But deep inside, you know why it did not work. You remember the lack of peace. You remember the misalignment. You remember praying for clarity. And clarity came, even though it hurt. God closed doors you were not strong enough to close yourself. He removed people you were not ready to release. He protected you from long-term pain disguised as short-term happiness. What felt like loss was actually protection. What felt like delay was actually direction. And one day, you will thank him for the endings that once broke your heart. You may not realize it, but this waiting season is building strength inside you that comfort never could. It is teaching you patience that cannot be learned in easy seasons. It is teaching you emotional stability without depending on someone else for validation. You are learning how to enjoy your own company. You are learning how to build your own peace. You are learning how to stand firm when life feels uncertain. Marriage will not complete you if you are already empty inside. Love will not fix wounds you refuse to heal. God sometimes delays the blessing to prepare the heart, because when the right person arrives, you must be ready to receive them in health, not desperation. Waiting is shaping your standards. It is refining your expectations. It is strengthening your discernment. You are becoming less impressed by surface attraction You are becoming more aware of character. You are understanding that peace is more important than excitement. You are realizing that compatibility matters more than chemistry alone. Growth does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels slow. Sometimes it feels invisible. But invisible growth is still growth. And one day, you will see that this season was not empty. It was preparation. God's timing is not slow. It is intentional. He sees the full picture of your future, not just the part you can imagine. He sees the person you will become in 5 years. He sees the challenges you will face together. He sees the pressures your marriage will encounter. And he knows what kind of strength you will need to survive those seasons. If he gave you everything too early, it might overwhelm you instead of blessing you. You may think you are ready, but readiness is more than desire. It includes maturity. It includes wisdom. It includes emotional control. It includes spiritual depth. Sometimes the delay is not about the other person. Sometimes it is about you becoming stronger. God is not ignoring you. He is investing in you. He is building foundations that will not collapse under pressure. He is shaping a future that lasts longer than temporary excitement. Your waiting is not wasted. Your prayers are not unheard. Your tears are not unnoticed. He counts every one of them. And when the right time comes, you will realize that what felt late was actually perfectly aligned. And you will see that God was never delaying you. He was protecting your destiny. There are days when the waiting does not just feel long, it feels personal. You start wondering if God is testing you. You ask yourself how much longer you must prove your faith. You question whether your obedience is enough. You compare your consistency to others who seem less committed yet already blessed. You try not to think that way, but the thoughts still come. You wonder why your prayer feels delayed while others receive quickly. You begin to examine your life closely. Did I do something wrong? Am I missing something? Is there a lesson I have not learned? The silence makes you search yourself deeply. And sometimes that self-examination becomes heavy. But what if this season is not punishment? What if it is positioning? What if God is aligning details you cannot see yet? The right person must come at the right time. Your heart must be strong enough to recognize them. Your spirit must be mature enough to sustain the relationship. And their life must be aligned with yours in ways you cannot calculate. God is not rushing because He values stability over speed. He is not ignoring you. He is orchestrating timing. And timing is something only He controls perfectly. Even when it feels personal, it is purposeful. Even when it feels silent, it is strategic. You may not see it now, but loneliness has been teaching you things comfort never could. It has shown you your fears. It has revealed your insecurities. It has exposed areas where you seek validation. It has forced you to sit with yourself honestly. You have learned how to calm your own storms. You have learned how to encourage yourself when no one else is there. You have learned how to pray deeply instead of casually. You have learned how to depend on God instead of leaning emotionally on someone else. These lessons are not small. They are foundational. Because one day, when disagreements happen, when misunderstandings arise, when stress enters your marriage, you will not collapse under pressure. You will respond with maturity. You will communicate with patience. You will choose peace over pride. And that strength is being developed now. In quiet rooms, in silent prayers, in nights when you feel alone but refuse to give up. Loneliness is shaping resilience inside you. And resilience will protect your future. There were relationships you thought would last forever. You imagined growing old with them. You imagined building dreams together. But slowly, cracks began to appear. Conversations became complicated. Peace became rare. Clarity became blurred. You tried to fix it. You prayed about it. You hoped it would change. But deep inside, you felt uneasy. That uneasiness was not random. It was protection. God will never give you something that constantly steals your peace. If you had stayed, you might have settled. If you had forced it, you might have suffered quietly for years. Sometimes love feels strong but is not stable. Sometimes connection feels deep but is not aligned. God sees beyond emotions. He sees compatibility and purpose. He sees character under pressure. He sees what surfaces later. When he removed certain people, it was not cruelty. It was mercy. And mercy sometimes feels like heartbreak before it feels like understanding. The hardest part about waiting is watching time move forward while your situation seems still. Birthdays come and go. Years change. Friends move into new seasons. And you feel like you are standing in the same chapter. But stillness does not mean stagnation. Growth can happen quietly. Transformation can happen invisibly. Your character is evolving. Your standards are becoming clearer. Your faith is deepening. You are no longer impressed by temporary attention. You are no longer attracted to inconsistency. You are becoming more intentional, more aware, more selective. That is not delay. That is development. God is not keeping you stuck. He is strengthening your foundation. Because when your time comes, it will not be fragile. It will not be rushed. It will not be confusing. It will feel steady. And steady blessings last longer. One day, you will look back at this season differently. You will remember the tears. You will remember the questions. You will remember the nights you felt forgotten. But you will also see the growth. You will see how much stronger you became. You will see how your faith matured. You will see how your heart healed from old wounds. You will realize that if things had happened earlier, you might not have been ready to handle them well. You will understand why certain doors stayed closed. You will recognize the wisdom in the waiting. You will notice how perfectly the timing aligned. The right person will come with clarity, not confusion. With peace, not pressure. With consistency, not uncertainty. And when that happens, you will not say God delayed you. You will say God prepared you. You will not say God ignored you. You will say God protected you. And the season that once felt empty will become proof that He was working all along. Sometimes the waiting makes you question your worth more than your faith. You begin to wonder if something is wrong with you. You analyze your personality. You analyze your appearance. You analyze your past mistakes. You compare yourself to people who seem to receive love easily. You start asking quiet questions you never say out loud. Am I not enough? Am I too much? Am I invisible? But your value was never meant to be measured by who chooses you. Your worth was established long before anyone noticed you. Marriage does not increase your value. Singleness does not decrease your importance. God does not delay you because you lack beauty or personality. He delays because He sees the full blueprint of your destiny. You are not overlooked. You are being reserved. Reserved for something aligned. Reserved for something stable. Reserved for something that will not treat you as optional. The waiting is not proof of rejection. It is proof that your story requires precision. And precision always takes time. There are moments when impatience tries to convince you to settle. It whispers that maybe standards are too high. It tells you that loneliness is worse than compromise. It suggests that partial peace is better than empty space. But deep down, you know temporary comfort cannot replace lasting alignment. Settling may silence loneliness for a season, but it creates deeper frustration later. You were not created to beg for effort. You were not designed to chase clarity. You were not meant to convince someone of your value. The right relationship will not require constant anxiety. It will not demand that you shrink yourself. It will not force you to ignore red flags. God's delay protects you from lowering your standards out of fear. It shields you from connections built on desperation instead of purpose. You deserve stability, not confusion. You deserve consistency, not mixed signals. You deserve love that feels safe, not stressful. And God will not rush you into something that steals your peace. Even if waiting feels uncomfortable, compromise would cost you more. So the delay is not cruelty. It is protection disguised as patience. You may not realize it, but your future partner is also in preparation. They may be learning lessons right now. They may be healing from past wounds. They may be growing in areas where they were once weak. They may be building stability in their career or character. If you met them too early, you might connect emotionally but struggle practically. Timing is not only about desire. It is about readiness on both sides. God aligns seasons carefully. He does not just prepare one heart. He prepares two lives. He synchronizes growth. He coordinates maturity. He ensures that when you meet, it is not chaotic but confirmed, not forced but natural, not pressured but peaceful. You may think nothing is happening, but beyond your view, details are shifting, paths are crossing, circumstances are adjusting. And when alignment is complete, what once felt distant will suddenly feel close. Faith becomes stronger when it survives silence. It is easy to trust when prayers are answered quickly. It is harder to trust when heaven seems quiet. But quiet seasons test depth. They reveal whether you trust God for who He is, or only for what He gives. You continue praying even without visible change. You continue believing even without confirmation. You continue hoping even when doubt whispers. That kind of faith is powerful. It builds endurance. It builds spiritual strength. It builds unshakable confidence in God's character. One day, when challenges enter your marriage, this same endurance will carry you through. Because love is not sustained by emotion alone. It is sustained by commitment. And commitment is strengthened by patience. God is not only preparing you for a wedding day, He is preparing you for a lifetime. And lifetimes require strong foundations. Strong foundations require testing. And testing requires time. You often see the celebration, but you do not see the struggles behind quick relationships. You see the photos. You see the rings. You see the smiles. But you do not see private arguments. You do not see unresolved wounds. You do not see emotional immaturity. You do not see financial pressure. You do not see hidden incompatibility. God sees everything. He sees beyond appearances. He sees beyond social media. He sees beyond public happiness. And He cares more about your long-term peace than your short-term excitement. He would rather let you wait than allow you to suffer silently in the wrong union. He would rather stretch your patience than watch your heart slowly break in regret. The delay you resent today may be the protection you thank Him for tomorrow. Because what God builds slowly, He builds securely. And what He builds securely lasts. There are nights when you feel strong in public but fragile in private. You speak faith in front of others. You encourage friends who are struggling. You smile when people ask about your future. But when you are alone, the silence feels heavier. You sit with your thoughts longer than you want to. You imagine what life could look like. You imagine coming home to someone. You imagine shared laughter after long days. You imagine praying together before sleeping. And then reality reminds you that you are still waiting. In those moments, it feels unfair. It feels like everyone else moved forward while you stayed still. But what you do not see is that strength is forming inside you. Strength that does not depend on relationship status. Strength that is built in solitude. Strength that will not crumble when emotions fluctuate. You are learning to comfort yourself with God's promises. You are learning to sit in quiet without losing hope. You are learning that being alone does not mean being abandoned. God is closest in seasons where distractions are few. And in this solitude, He is shaping a version of you that is stable, grounded, and deeply rooted. One day, you will thank Him for building you privately, before presenting you publicly. Sometimes you feel embarrassed explaining your season to others. Relatives ask questions. Friends make assumptions. People offer advice you did not request. They say maybe you are too selective. They say maybe you are too spiritual. They say maybe you should lower expectations. Those words can slowly create doubt. You begin questioning your standards. You wonder if you are expecting too much. But having standards is not pride. It is wisdom. Wanting alignment is not selfish. It is responsible. God did not call you to rush into covenant just to silence opinions. He called you to walk in discernment. Your timeline does not belong to society. It belongs to the one who designed your destiny. People see your age. God sees your assignment. People see your singleness. God sees your preparation. And preparation always matters more than pressure. So do not shrink your expectations to satisfy impatient voices. Trust that divine timing requires courage to wait. There are moments when temptation becomes subtle, not temptation to sin loudly, but temptation to compromise quietly, to entertain someone you know is inconsistent, to reply to messages that bring confusion, to ignore red flags because attention feels comforting. Loneliness can blur clarity if you are not careful. It can make you accept effort that is minimal. It can make you tolerate behavior that lacks respect. But every time you choose discipline over desperation, you grow stronger. Every time you walk away from confusion, you protect your peace. Every time you say no to misalignment, you say yes to your future. God sees those small decisions. He sees your restraint. He sees your commitment to honor Him. And He rewards faithfulness in ways that are not always immediate. Temporary loneliness is lighter than long-term regret. Short-term discipline prevents long-term damage. And every time you choose patience, you are investing in something stable and lasting. Your obedience in private is shaping blessings in public. You may not realize how much emotional healing has already happened inside you. There were wounds that once controlled your reactions. There were insecurities that once dictated your choices. There were fears that once influenced your attachments. But slowly, through prayer and reflection, those wounds are healing. You respond differently now. You recognize unhealthy patterns faster. You no longer chase people who are unclear. You no longer confuse attention with commitment. You have grown, and growth changes your timeline. Because now you are not looking for someone to fill a void. You are looking for someone to build a future. That shift is powerful. It means you are no longer desperate. It means you are becoming secure. Secure people do not rush. Secure people do not beg. Secure people wait for alignment. God sometimes delays because He wants you healed first. Because healed hearts build healthier homes. And healthier homes create stronger legacies. One day, everything will make sense in a way that removes every doubt you once carried. You will meet someone whose presence feels calm instead of chaotic. You will notice how natural the connection feels. You will not feel pressure to perform. You will not feel fear of losing them every moment. You will feel steady. You will feel chosen. You will feel respected. And in that moment, you will realize why the other connections did not work. You will see the difference between excitement and peace, between attraction and alignment, between attention and intention. And gratitude will replace frustration. You will look back at the waiting with different eyes. You will understand why God said not yet. You will see how every delay protected you from something unstable. You will recognize how every closed door redirected you. And instead of saying, God made me wait, you will say, God saved me from settling. Because what He has prepared will not require force. It will flow with confirmation, clarity, and calm assurance. And you will finally understand that divine timing was never against you. It was always working for you. There were times when you almost gave up praying about it. Not because you stopped believing in God, but because you grew tired of repeating the same request. You felt like maybe you were asking for too much. You thought maybe silence was the answer. So you tried to act strong. You told yourself you did not care anymore. You tried to bury the desire. You tried to convince your heart to stop hoping. But desire does not disappear just because you silence it. It remains quietly inside you. And God sees even the prayers you stopped speaking. He hears even the ones you only whisper in tears. He understands the longing you struggle to explain. Your tiredness does not offend Him. Your questions do not scare Him. Your frustration does not push Him away. He is patient with your emotions. He is gentle with your heart. Even when you feel like giving up, He does not give up on your story. He continues working behind scenes you cannot see. He continues arranging details you cannot control. And even in your weariness, He remains faithful. You have grown in ways you never expected during this season. You have discovered strength you did not know you had. You have learned to celebrate others sincerely without bitterness. You have learned to sit with disappointment without collapsing. You have learned to trust God even when answers are delayed. Those lessons are not small. They are shaping your emotional maturity. They are strengthening your character. They are building humility and endurance. Marriage requires patience. It requires sacrifice. It requires forgiveness. It requires emotional control. And you are developing those qualities now. Waiting is not empty time. It is training ground. It is preparation room. It is character development. God is more concerned with your foundation than your timeline, because a rushed blessing can crumble, but a prepared blessing stands strong. So while you feel like you are standing still, He is building depth inside you. There are connections that looked promising but lacked peace. There were conversations that felt exciting but unstable. There were people who showed interest but not consistency. At first, you tried to overlook the warning signs. You hoped things would improve. You tried to justify behavior that made you uncomfortable, but your spirit felt uneasy, and that uneasiness was guidance. Peace is not random. It is confirmation. When God sends the right person, you will not feel constant confusion. You will not feel anxiety every day. You will not feel the need to decode mixed signals. Clarity will replace chaos. Consistency will replace unpredictability. Respect will replace insecurity. And you will realize how exhausting instability truly was. God did not remove those people to hurt you. He removed them to protect your future. Because temporary excitement cannot replace lasting peace. And lasting peace is what He desires for you. So the doors that closed were not punishment. They were direction. Sometimes you wonder if time is running out. You feel pressure when you think about age. You feel anxious when others remind you of timelines. You worry that opportunities may pass you by. But destiny is not fragile. What God has written for you cannot be stolen by delay. It cannot be erased by waiting. It cannot be replaced by someone else's blessing. Your story is uniquely designed. Your future is specifically assigned. God does not lose track of His plans. He does not forget promises. He does not miscalculate timing. Human clocks create pressure, but divine timing creates alignment. What is meant for you will not require chasing. It will not require manipulation. It will not require desperation. It will come with clarity. It will come with peace. It will come when both hearts are ready. And readiness is more important than speed. Trust that your timeline is protected. There will be a day when waiting transforms into testimony, when frustration turns into gratitude, when confusion turns into clarity. You will stand in a moment you once prayed for. You will remember the tears you cried in secret. You will remember the nights you felt alone. You will remember the questions you asked God. And you will see how every delay shaped you. You will see how every closed door redirected you. You will see how every lonely season strengthened you. And instead of saying, "Why did I have to wait?" you will say, "Now I understand." Because what arrives at the right time feels different. It feels secure. It feels intentional. It feels peaceful. It feels confirmed. You will not have to force it. You will not have to fear losing it constantly. You will stand in gratitude instead of anxiety. And you will realize that God was not withholding joy. He was protecting it. He was preparing it. He was perfecting it. There are moments when you feel like your faith is being stretched beyond comfort. You trusted. You waited. You obeyed. And still, the answer did not come when you expected it. That can feel confusing, because you believed obedience would bring quick reward. You believed faithfulness would speed things up. But God is not moved by pressure. He is moved by purpose. And purpose takes time to unfold correctly. You may feel like you have done everything right. You stayed patient. You avoided compromise. You chose integrity. And yet you are still single. But obedience is never wasted. Faithfulness is never ignored. Every decision you made to honor God is building unseen favor in your life. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Positioned for something that matches your growth. Positioned for something that reflects your maturity. Positioned for something that will not collapse under pressure. Delay does not cancel destiny. It prepares it. Sometimes the hardest battle is not loneliness, but comparison. You see people who once asked you for advice, now moving ahead of you. You see couples who started later than you now married before you. You see announcements that trigger silent questions in your heart. Comparison whispers that you are falling behind. It tells you that you should have figured it out by now. It convinces you that everyone else is progressing except you. But comparison only shows the surface. It does not reveal private struggles. It does not show hidden incompatibility. It does not show tears behind closed doors. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's preparation is different. God writes stories individually, not collectively. Your timeline is not a competition. It is a calling. And calling cannot be rushed by jealousy. When you compare, you lose peace. When you trust, you gain stability. Stay focused on your path. Stay grounded in your growth. Because what is meant for you cannot be taken by someone else's progress. Your blessing is not late. It is specific. There were seasons when you almost chose distraction over discipline. When you thought about entertaining someone just to feel wanted. When you considered lowering your standards just to escape loneliness. When you thought temporary attention might heal permanent longing. But something inside you stopped. Something reminded you that your peace matters more. That reminder was wisdom. God was guarding your heart. Because attention is not the same as intention. Chemistry is not the same as compatibility. Flattery is not the same as faithfulness. And you have learned that now. You no longer confuse excitement with stability. You no longer ignore inconsistencies. You no longer accept half effort. That growth is powerful. It means you are no longer desperate. It means you are intentional. Intentional people do not rush sacred commitments. They protect them. They wait for clarity. They wait for confirmation. And confirmation requires patience. Your discipline today is protecting your peace tomorrow. You may not see how much your character has changed, but others can. You respond differently now. You speak differently now. You think more deeply now. The things that once impressed you no longer impress you the same way. You have matured. You have healed. You have grown in discernment. And growth shifts attraction. Now you are drawn to depth instead of drama, to stability instead of spontaneity, to leadership instead of loudness. That shift is not accidental. It is preparation. God is aligning your taste with your destiny. He is adjusting your expectations with wisdom. Because if your desires do not mature, your choices will not either. And choices determine direction. Direction determines outcome. So this growth is not small. It is guiding you towards something stronger, towards something built on shared values, towards something that lasts beyond feelings. And lasting love is worth waiting for. As this season continues, you are learning something deeper than patience. You are learning surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving control to God. It means trusting Him with details you cannot manage. It means believing that His view is clearer than yours. You may not understand every delay. You may not agree with every closed door. But surrender says, even when I do not understand, I trust you. That level of trust changes everything. Because now your peace is not tied to timing. Your hope is not tied to a calendar. Your joy is not tied to relationship status. You are rooted in something deeper. Rooted in faith. Rooted in identity. Rooted in purpose. And when you are rooted, you cannot be shaken by waiting. The season may feel long, but it is not empty. It is shaping you into someone who will not just enter marriage ready to receive love, but ready to sustain it. There were moments when you felt forgotten, not by people, but by God. You never said it loudly, but quietly you wondered if your name was still written in His plans. You saw others receiving breakthroughs. You saw prayers being answered around you. And you asked yourself why your story felt paused. But a paused chapter is not a canceled book. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. God does not forget the prayers that come from a sincere heart. He does not misplace your tears. He does not overlook your obedience. Every time you chose faith over frustration, He saw it. Every time you resisted compromise, He recorded it. Every time you trusted Him without evidence, He honored it. You may feel unseen in this season, but heaven is attentive. God's plans for you are not fading. They are forming. And formation often happens quietly. before manifestation becomes visible. The truth is, you are not the same person you were a few years ago. Back then, you might have rushed. Back then, you might have settled. Back then, you might have ignored warning signs. But now, you see clearly. Now, you recognize patterns faster. Now, you value peace more than passion. Now, you care about purpose more than popularity. That growth did not happen by accident. It happened through waiting. It happened through disappointment. It happened through lessons you did not ask for. God used delay to mature your perspective, because love without maturity becomes chaos, and marriage without wisdom becomes pressure. He is not just preparing you to fall in love. He is preparing you to remain in love, to endure hard conversations, to handle financial challenges, to support each other through weakness, to stay committed when emotions fluctuate. And that kind of stability requires depth that only time can build. You once thought the goal was simply to be chosen, to be wanted, to be pursued. But now you understand that being chosen is not enough. You need alignment. You need shared faith. You need shared values. You need emotional security. You need spiritual compatibility. You need someone who respects your growth, someone who understands your calling, someone who leads with integrity, someone who communicates with honesty. Those qualities cannot be rushed. They cannot be forced. They must be confirmed. And confirmation requires patience. God is not looking at temporary attraction. He is looking at long-term sustainability. He is thinking about the future children you may raise, the home you may build, the legacy you may leave. So if he delays, it is because the foundation matters more than the ceremony. And strong foundations take time to form. There will be a moment when everything shifts suddenly, when what felt distant feels close, when what felt impossible feels natural. You will meet someone and feel calm instead of anxious. You will feel clarity instead of confusion. You will feel consistency instead of unpredictability. You will not have to question where you stand. You will not have to decode mixed signals. You will not feel like you are fighting to be valued. Instead, you will feel secure. You will feel seen. You will feel respected. And in that peace, you will recognize the difference between past connections and divine alignment. You will understand why other doors closed. You will see how every delay preserved this moment. You will realize that rushing would have cost you this stability. And gratitude will replace every complaint you once had. Because when God moves, he moves with precision. And when he confirms something, he confirms it with peace. As you stand in this waiting season today, it may still feel long. It may still feel uncertain. It may still stretch your patience. But do not mistake stretching for breaking. You are not breaking. You are expanding. Expanding your capacity for love. Expanding your emotional maturity. Expanding your faith. Expanding your endurance. The weight you feel now is building strength you will rely on later. The silence you hear now is developing trust that will sustain you later. The loneliness you experience now is shaping appreciation you will carry later. You are not being delayed without purpose. You are being developed with intention. And development always precedes destiny. So hold on. Stay faithful. Stay patient. Because the same God who allowed the waiting is the same God who will perfect the timing. Right now, you may still feel the weight of waiting. You may still wake up some mornings with questions. You may still feel that quiet ache when you see others moving forward. You may still wonder how much longer this season will last. But listen carefully. Waiting has not weakened you. It has refined you. It has stripped away immaturity. It has removed desperation. It has exposed insecurity and then healed it. It has strengthened your prayer life. It has deepened your discernment. It has clarified your standards. You are no longer the person who would accept anything just to avoid being alone. You are no longer impressed by surface charm. You are no longer willing to trade peace for attention. That transformation is powerful, and transformation is never wasted. God does not refine someone without purpose. He does not stretch someone without intention. If this season has changed you, it is because your future requires this version of you, a stronger you, a wiser you, a more secure you. And secure people build stable futures. Think about the doors that closed. At the time, they felt painful. They felt confusing. They felt unfair. You questioned why something that looked promising ended. You questioned why feelings were not enough. You questioned why effort did not guarantee success. But now, with distance, you can see cracks you once ignored. You can see red flags you once justified. You can see misalignment you once tried to fix. God did not close those doors to punish you. He closed them to protect you. He prevented conversations that would have led to deeper heartbreak. He stopped connections that would have drained your peace. He removed people who were not equipped to handle your future. That was not rejection. That was redirection. That was not loss. That was preservation. Sometimes God saves you quietly from things that would have broken you loudly. And one day you will thank Him for the doors that did not open. There is something sacred about divine timing. When it finally happens, it does not feel rushed. It does not feel forced. It does not feel chaotic. It feels calm. It feels clear. It feels steady. The right person will not make you question your worth daily. They will not make you anxious about where you stand. They will not create confusion that steals your sleep. Instead, there will be consistency. There will be respect. There will be spiritual alignment. There will be emotional safety. You will feel chosen without chasing. You will feel valued without proving. You will feel secure without begging. And in that security, you will recognize the difference. You will see that everything before was preparation. Everything before was contrast. Everything before was teaching you what peace truly feels like. And when peace arrives, you will not have to convince yourself. You will simply know. When that day comes, your testimony will be powerful, not because it happened quickly, but because it happened correctly. You will remember the tears you cried at night. You will remember the prayers whispered in exhaustion. You will remember the days you almost settled. You will remember the moments you felt forgotten. And you will stand there realizing that none of it was wasted. Every tear built trust. Every delay built endurance. Every disappointment built discernment. Every lonely season built strength. You will look back and see a pattern of protection. You will see how God was rearranging your path. You will see how He was guarding your heart. You will see how He was shaping your character. And gratitude will fill the space where frustration once lived, because now you will understand. The delay was never against you. It was always preparing you. So if you are still waiting today, do not lose heart. Do not allow comparison to steal your peace. Do not let impatience push you into compromise. Do not let loneliness convince you to settle. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are in preparation. You are in development. You are in alignment season. God is not ignoring your prayer. He is perfecting the details. He is shaping both hearts. He is arranging circumstances. He is protecting your future from premature decisions. And when the time is right, what He has prepared will arrive with clarity and calm assurance. You will not have to force it. You will not have to chase it. You will step into it with peace. And you will finally realize God was never delaying you. He was building something worth the wait. And even now, as you are listening to this, something inside you feels calmer. Not because everything has changed, but because you are starting to understand. Waiting is not punishment. It is preparation. Delay is not rejection. It is refinement. God is not keeping something from you. He is keeping you for something. Something healthier. Something stable. Something aligned with your purpose. If it has not happened yet, it is not because you are unworthy. It is because the timing is still being perfected. He is adjusting details you cannot see. He is shaping hearts you have not met yet. He is protecting conversations that have not happened yet. And when everything aligns, it will not feel rushed. It will not feel forced. It will feel right. And right things do not require desperation. They require patience. So instead of asking, "Why am I still waiting?" start asking, "Who am I becoming in this season?" Because the person you are becoming now is the person your future needs. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more discerning. You are becoming more secure. And secure people attract secure love. Healed people build healthy homes. Mature people sustain lasting relationships. This season is not empty. It is transforming you quietly. It is building depth inside you. And depth creates durability. Durability creates stability. And stability creates peace. God is not just preparing a wedding day. He is preparing a lifetime. And lifetimes require strong foundations. Strong foundations require time. One day, when you stand in the relationship you prayed for, you will remember this version of yourself. The one who almost gave up but didn't. The one who cried but kept trusting. The one who felt lonely but refused to settle. The one who questioned but kept believing. And you will be proud of yourself. Because you did not trade your future for temporary comfort. You did not silence your standards out of fear. You did not abandon faith when answers were delayed. You stayed. You trusted. You endured. And endurance always produces something beautiful. When that day comes, gratitude will replace frustration. Clarity will replace confusion. Peace will replace anxiety. And you will see clearly, God was never late. He was exact. A little deeper. Do not let this season define you negatively. Let it refine you positively. Let it shape your character. Let it strengthen your patience. Let it deepen your faith. Because the same God who carried you through the waiting is the same God who will carry you into the blessing. He does not start stories and abandon them halfway. He does not promise and then forget. He does not prepare you for nothing. If He is stretching you, it is because something greater is ahead. If He is refining you, it is because something stronger is coming. Trust the process you cannot see. Trust the plan you do not fully understand. Trust the God who sees what you cannot. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are in divine timing. And when it happens, when love arrives with peace, clarity, and confirmation, you will not regret the waiting. You will respect it. Because what God gives at the right time does not break easily. It does not confuse constantly. It does not disappear suddenly. It stays. So keep believing. Keep growing. Keep trusting. Your story is still being written. And the author never makes mistakes. The wait will be worth it. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, for the person listening right now who feels tired of waiting, I ask that you wrap them in your peace. You see their silent tears. You hear the prayers they stopped repeating. You know the ache they try to hide behind strength. Lord, when waiting feels heavy, give them endurance. When comparison tries to steal their joy, give them confidence. When loneliness whispers lies, remind them of their worth. Guard their heart from settling. Protect them from connections that look good but are not good for them. Remove every relationship that carries confusion instead of clarity. Heal every past wound that still hurts quietly. Restore every place where disappointment created doubt. Strengthen their faith in seasons of silence. Teach them to trust your timing even when it stretches them. Help them grow into the version of themselves their future needs. Build their character. Deepen their discernment. Establish their peace. And Father, when the right time comes, bring into their life someone who reflects your love. Someone consistent, kind, faithful, and aligned with their purpose. Let their future relationship be built on prayer, anchored in trust, covered in peace, and sustained by you. Until that day comes, hold them steady, keep them hopeful, keep them patient, keep them strong. Remind them that delay is not denial. Remind them that silence is not absence. Remind them that you are working even when they cannot see it. We trust you with the timing. We trust you with the details. We trust you with the future. In Jesus' name, amen.